Hello, this is Mr. Rasmussen with Algebra 1, Lesson 103. All right, in this particular lesson here, we are going to simplify these equations to be able to solve for the unknown variable. So let's jump into example 1 here. That one you should be able to do because it doesn't have any new parts. It's showing you what you should be familiar with. It says solve for y. So you can see we're going to get a common denominator. Well, we're going to get what is the common denominator, the smallest number that they all go into evenly. That's going to be 12. So I'm going to write a 12 in front of the top of these, and then we're going to remove the denominator by simplifying there. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we're going to get 6y plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 3 times 1 is 3 equals, and then this is 2, so 2y. And we're going to do that to be able to reduce and eliminate our denominator. And then once you get this on this scale, then we know how to do this. I'm going to subtract 6y from both sides. We get 3 is equal to negative 4y. Divide by negative 4, divide by a negative 4. And our answer, y is equal to negative 3/4. Okay, so all that should be pretty familiar as far as how we get the greatest common factor there, where they all go into it evenly to be able to remove our denominator. So today's lesson moves on to putting variables inside the denominator and having to work with those as far as our greatest common factor. All right, so in this case, example number 2, if they're connected by multiplication, then we're good. Okay, so our greatest common factor of this is going to include the t variable and include the 3. So it's going to be 3t. So I'm going to write that on the top here of each one of my terms. Put parentheses around this one because it would be multiplied by both of those. Okay, so to remove my denominator, here my two t's are going to cancel, and I'm going to get 3 parentheses t minus 2 equals, here everything's going to cancel, and I'm left with my 14. Here my 3's are going to cancel, and I'm at minus 1 times t, which is going to be minus t. Okay, to further simplify, let's remove my parentheses. I get 3t minus 6. All right, add 6 to both sides. Let's add a t to both sides. I'm going to write it over here. It looks like I get 4t, that cancels, equals 20, and that cancels. All right, then divide by 4, t is equal to, if I reduce that, actually I can divide in evenly, t is equal to 5. Okay, and there's my answer for example 2. All right, you can look at example 3 yourself there and work through that one. I'm jumping to example 4. Example 4, a little more complicated. I've got a 3n here, then I've got an n plus 4. Well, anything connected through addition or subtraction kind of is different, right? So my common denominator for this one is going to include all these parts. It's got the 3n, and then since this n is different, I got to have parentheses n plus 4. Put the whole part up there. 3n, n plus 4, 3n, n plus 4. Okay, so because these two are connected by multiplication, and this gets connected to this whole parentheses by multiplication. All right, so canceling out my denominator, in my first term here, my 3n's cancel, and I'm left with 2 parentheses n plus 4. And my next part here, my parentheses part cancels, and I'm left with, let's see, how shall I write this? We'll go with negative 2 times 3n. Okay? All right, and then equals, I have no denominator here, so that everything stays. However, this is tricky. 3n parentheses n plus 4 times 0 is 0. If there was a 1 there, the whole thing would stay, but since it's 0, actually the whole thing disappears. All right, let's remove parentheses. I have 2n plus 8 minus 6n equals 0. I can combine my two terms with the n to get 8 minus 4n equals 0. Let's subtract 8 from both sides. Cancels there. Let's divide by -4, divide by -4, and -8 divided by -4 looks like n equals 2. All right, I hope this is making sense as we work through these. You can look at example 5 yourself, and I'm going to jump to example number 6. All right, example number 6, these have connected by subtraction, so I got to combine those as one part there, parentheses. Pulling everything together, I'm going to have a p parentheses p minus 4 to get my whole parts because everything has to be connected by multiplication. And then I'm going to write that out because I have 3 terms here. Here I'm writing it out, but you know, I see a 0 there, so I already know when you multiply by 0, it's going to go away. All right, first term. The 2 p's cancel out because connected by multiplication and division, and those are operations that work together. So I'm left with 4 parentheses p minus 4 in the parentheses. Okay, minus 3 here. I'm out of room here. This part is going to cancel with that part. All that's left is the p. So I'm going to put the p in there, and then my 0 times that is still 0. All right, let's remove parentheses. 4p minus 16 minus 3p equals 0. Combine the 4p and the negative 3p. That is going to cancel this term and make this an understood 1. Let's add 16 to both sides and move it over. So p is equal to 16. Okay, go ahead and work through the practice problems. And then when you get some answers, come back and check your work with my work. Here is practice problem A. Put this in parentheses because these are connected by subtraction, and that doesn't work with multiplication. I'm going to get a t parentheses t minus 3 as my whole common denominator part there. All right, so my t's cancel here. I'm left with 5 parentheses t minus 3. Over here, minus 2. These parts cancel. I'm left with the t. And then once again, the whole part stays, but when multiplied by 0, it goes to 0. All right, remove my parentheses. I get 5t minus 15 minus 2t equals 0. Combine like terms. Negative minus 2t gives me 3t minus 15. Actually, yep, equals 0. Let's add a 15 to both sides. Cancels here. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And looks like t is equal to 5. And check my work in my book here. All right, that is correct. All right, let's look at the second practice problem. Same thing, those are connected by subtraction, so I got to keep those together. And so my greatest common factor is going to be, or my common denominator is going to be y, parentheses y minus 3. I'm writing it out. This one, you know what? I'm not going to write it out because it's multiplied by 0. It's going to be 0. Okay, here my y's cancel. 8 parentheses y minus 3. Over here, my parentheses cancel. I'm left with plus 5y. Let's remove parentheses. 8y minus 24 plus 5y equals 0. All right, if I combine my y's, it looks like 8 plus 5, so 13y. I'm going to add 24 to both sides, so it cancels here. So at this point, divide by 13, divide by 13. Y looks like it's equal to 24 over 13. Does not look like I can reduce that, so that is my answer. Okay, so same thing as, eliminate. It's basically working to eliminate the denominator so that then we can work at it all on the numerator level as a normal equation that you're used to. Okay, hope that goes well. If you need some help, go ahead and text me. Have a great day.